One of the things that I want on a game day is I want my parents on my sideline.
Same.
Right? And part of that,
Those were the days.
Part of that is to keep them in check.
Yep.
Right? Because
So
I
much
can
easier.
muzzle them when they're near me. But then also I want them to hear what I'm saying to the players.
That kind of conversation on where should they be at a youth game is a very interesting one. It's a common problem. Parents are on the other sideline, parents start fighting with each other, parents on your sideline, parents start distracting the children. It's a very difficult one. What he's saying is quite interesting. He's kind of saying, if you are not having the parents on your sideline, they can't hear what you're saying as a coach, and that's a big disadvantage. And I agree with that, because parents on the other side of the field kind of only hear when you're saying something very, very loud and making a big call, which tends to be almost the most negative part or the most demanding part. But all that relationship or conversation you're having in between one-on-one with the player, they can't really hear. And theoretically, if they would be closer, that would be a big advantage for that.
I have nothing to hide with. I want my parents to hear what I'm saying, because I also want them to reinforce the message at home.
Okay, you're on the same side.
That argument for me does not make sense, though. If I want parents to reiterate what I'm saying at home, having them pick up my one-on-one conversations or group conversations with the group, they really would have to be right over to hear exactly what I'm saying. And then they would have to have enough context to exactly understand what I'm saying. And maybe one or two parents will do so, but the majority won't hear that. If I really want my parents to reiterate at home what we've worked on in the game, the best way to do that is to send a message afterwards in the group chat, in a voice message or a text message, and be like, okay, 3 things we worked on today. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Those were our priorities. If you can quiz your child on them, on how many they remember in the car, or if you can repeat those points with them at home, that's how you're going to actually have reinforcement by the parents that's valuable for the kids, versus them kind of guessing and picking up from comments you made during the training, I'd say, or during the game. I'd say that would be way more effective.
Sideline, players on this half,
Yes.
parents on that half, and it was perfect.
Yes.
And guess what happened? There was never a fight between parents from different teams.
Correct.
Now, we want to act like it's so professional that parents aren't even at Flash Field in Buffalo.
I don't know if that's just about professionalism. I think that definitely is the problem, that a lot of times youth soccer is trying to mimic pro soccer too much and it becomes too complex, yes. But this seems to me more a problem where continuously there's problems coming up with parents distracting the children, starting to talk to them, trying to coach them in some way, starting conversations, distracting the coach. And I think these are more the points where parents are separated to the other side, not necessarily because we want to be like the pros.
Parents aren't even allowed on the turf. They have to watch from the
Yeah, and I think that too is because of misbehavior.
Who is it up to? Is it the league? Is it the state?
It's usually a state association or league rule. There was, when I was on the board of directors for Michigan State Youth Soccer Association, there was at one point a rule change to take people, put teams on the sidelines and parents back on the opposite sideline.
Right.
And it was actually being pushed by the referee association because it was easier to manage substitutions if both teams are entering and exiting from that side. So from that logistical element, and I advocated against it because, like, how hard is it for a Senate referee to be able to look to see what it is? And if you have...
That's a terrible argument. I mean, yes, if you are the referee, the guy that's filming this video right now, he probably would be able to manage everything at once, and pro referees were probably able to do it. But in a youth game, that's not who's reffing. Who's reffing is Paul, who's 15 years old, playing himself and has reffed 5 games. And he is overwhelmed with the parents screaming at him anyway. He's overwhelmed with all of the things he needs to keep in mind. And this needs to work for Paul, the 15-year-old referee, not for the 30-year-old experienced person that has been doing this for a very long time. That person's not refereeing the youth games. It's like any business systems, any systems ever need to be built for the weakest person to function and not for the very strongest to be able to do it. So that argument is just, that's not a good one.
A 3-man crew, they should be mirroring each other.
There is no 3-man crew at a youth game. I've never seen that.
I think it goes back to your point. There's a lot of things that we try to mirror in the professional game at the youth level that just doesn't make sense. And so, to your point, in terms of putting the parents on one half and the teams on the other, that separation is critical. And then, like when I coach younger kids, I say to the parents, the only time I want you to come over to this side is if your child is hurt.
Yep.
All right. And
Yeah.
if I don't have time
That makes
to
sense.
address their injury or another coach to help with them, then I'm going to tap you in to come support that. But I don't want you pumping them up. I don't want you feeding them, like
Getting them in
a
the
boxer
water,
in the corner, and
spraying them with the water because it's so hot.
Yeah,
That is the exact point why the parents really should be on the other side too. Because one, the moms come in and really overmother their child, and it's like, oh, how is it? What hurts? Is something wrong? And then checking out the leg. For kids, especially under the age of 12, there's only two types of injuries. There's either an injury that is so bad you really have to go to the doctor, or you really cannot play at all anymore, or it's really not that big of a deal, and they can play again within a minute, and they just need some attention. And I think often parents do the mistake of giving way too much attention around that kids, like little injuries that are not real injuries, but just it hurts a little bit. And with that, the kids are learning to get attention by showing that this injury is a little bit bigger than it actually is. And I think that that's something that can be avoided by just having the parents be a little bit further out, and the coach tends to not do that much because they've learned not to be overcarrying with injuries. And at the same time too, you have again the dads that are like, go hustle hard, work harder, and start to give some really bad coaching advice to the kids. And the more far away that is in the game, the higher the quality of play. And the easier too for the kids is just to listen to the coach that's right by them and not have multiple voices scream in and make comments from the side.
My job for the next 90 minutes is to be their coach and their adult advocate. And if I need
Very
your help,
good.
I will tag you in.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to.
That's great.
And so a lot of parents are pretty, when you set, again, boundaries, not barriers.
Yep.
They understand and I go a step further and I explain why.
Which is great as
Part
well.
of it is, this is their time, this is their
Yeah.